notes. If you need to write some notes, because I just saw this 4 minutes before 11 o'clock. And so let's get what we need to get out of this. 1 Kings chapter 16. 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 29. I'm going to go in 16. 17 is the meat of where we're coming out of, but I'm going to pull out of 16 so I can give full context of what God is saying. I just need to tell God thank you for just a second. Just pay me no attention for just a minute, y'all. Let me do a sidebar and tell the man thank you. I just had my mind. I just seen my mind just flip back to, girl, you realize what you doing? Do you actually realize you teaching the Bible, girl? Do you realize what you doing? You literally teaching the Bible. You, Delphine, really? And you teach it efficient. God, girl, do you realize what has happened to you? Don't you ever let nobody tell you that God ain't real. Don't you ever let nobody tell you that God can't change you. What? Look at what you doing, girl. Give him a shout out. Thank you. Wow. Verse 29, I'm talking about I got it 4 minutes before 11 o'clock. Bam! Watch, I'm finna walk it. 4 minutes before 11. Let's go, 29. And it says, and in the 38th year of King Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab, the son of Omri, to reign over Israel. That's telling Chronos time of when Ahab began to reign. And Ahab, the son of Omri, reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. So he's in Samaria. Notice, pay attention to all the context, the details. It gives reference as to who his dad was. Omri was his dad. He began to reign. He reigned over Israel, but he reigned over Israel in Samaria. In Samaria. All right, verse 30. And Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil. I need y'all to catch all this. Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Lord above all that were before him. I need y'all to catch the text. I need y'all to catch the text. If I can get the intercessors to really horn in for me this morning, I'll bring it like I need to bring it, because I see what God wants what he's wanting to say and convey, but I got to get this thing out of my spirit into the natural so that y'all can get it here. Ahab now is crowned king over Israel, over Samaritan part of Israel, right? And he says that he did cite evil in the sight of the Lord above all that were before him. Catch the text, what it says. He did evil in the sight of all of the people that came above all that came before him. So Ahab was literally refusing to be a student. If you would just please, I need y'all to pray for me, to hear me today. Ahab was literally refusing to be a student because of the simple fact, if you will notice this right here, if you will notice this and how this here is working out, he literally, it says that he did evil in the sight, but there were people prior to him. Now, there were kings that ruled prior to him, that had he paid any attention to them, had he took heed to the things that they had been doing, he might have not have found himself in this fix. And so therefore this is the season to make sure now, oh God, please don't be out here on your own. Okay, y'all hear me? Don't be out here on your own. Don't be out here trying to handle things and to do things on your own. Don't pull a Ahab now when there are people that have treaded before you. I was literally meditating and thinking about today, saying, you know what, God, there are some people that I have been set to help them with certain things, and to get through certain things, because I've treaded that ground prior to them having to tread this ground. But but I look, and the thing that came up in my spirit, how I'm so comical with what even when I have conversations with God, I'm very comical and very honest with him. And so this is what I said to the Lord when he was talking to me and he was bringing bringing people before me. Folks was flashing before me, and I could see circumstances that they were dealing with and or have dealt with that was like what I had gone through, and I could have helped them to get through those things much easier than what they got through. So this is what I said to the Lord when I looked and I didn't see the people. I said, well, what they had though? That's what I said to him. What they had though? So it was in my comical way of talking to him, but God was showing me, and I didn't realize that he would take me to a text that actually has this in it, because Ahab finds himself going to cut his own path. He's going to do his own thing. He's not going to follow the protocol that had been set before him. He's going to be his own person. And in some areas of life, it's okay that you be your own person. It's okay that you cut your path in certain things, but you got to know when there is the timing for that to take place. There are some things that you need to follow the pattern of the position of how things have already been established, and not try to go out on your own because it's set. God has it set to be that particular way. Let's go on a little bit further here. Verse 31 says, and it came to pass, as if had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel. I need y'all to follow the Spirit of God with this, right? It says, now listen here. It says, if it had been a light thing, y'all, he just considered it to be just a minimum thing. I ain't no big thing with what I'm doing. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. He says that he would walk in the sins of Jeroboam. That's the path he chose to follow, was to walk in the sins of somebody. I need y'all to hear me today, please. I pray my heart don't come out my chest, because I feel God so strong. Listen, I need y'all to hear me. The dude thought that I would follow Jeroboam, and just a light thing. He didn't take it seriously. He said, it's just a little light thing. For these just a little leaven the whole lump. I'm just going to tell this one little bitty lie. That's all I'm going to tell. I'm just going to lay up with you one time. That's all I'm going to do it one time for the rodeo. I'm just going to do this just one time. This little light thing. But what he didn't realize was he was following after Jeroboam. And Jeroboam was not the right one to follow after. So it does not matter whether it's done one time. If it's not with the right person to follow, and you go down or go in the direction of that path, it's going to lead you somewhere. Let's get into this thing, y'all. Look, let's see what this thing. God, I got all this in 4 minutes. What? Let's go. Okay, so, and he took to wife. Here's his first problem. Jezebel. You see what he picked up? See what he picked up? See what he picked up? All because he gonna cut his own path. He done picked up Jezebel. Here it is. This is where it all began. He done picked up Jezebel. He took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of Zidonians, and went and served. Oh, y'all don't see that, do you? I just need to know if y'all see that part. And went to serve Baal and worshiped him. I just need to know if anybody other than me see the mess that Ahab got in. Am I the only one that see it? No, you're not the only one that sees it. I see it. Got himself in a mess, didn't he? A big mess. I mean a big one. It's a big mess too, Rhoda. It's a big mess. Got himself in a mess. All because he chose to follow the wrong person. All because he chose to not listen to those that have gone before him, which would be mentors. Sidebar, I need to interject. Things that people go through, age has nothing to do with that. You can't think that because a person maybe younger than you or whatever, that they hadn't gone through, or what, I can't listen to them because they ain't gone through nothing. And I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. It doesn't have anything to do with age. It has everything to do with the purpose and the plan of God that is on a particular person's life. Dude finds himself caught up with a chick, marries the chick, and then not only did he marry her, but he allowed her God to become his God. All right? I need y'all to follow me today. Follow me. Walk with me. Hold me close. Hold me close. Verse 32. And he reared up an altar for Baal. Look at that. In the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. Y'all don't hear what y'all didn't see that, did you? Did anybody see what that joker had the audacity to do? Did anybody see it other than me? What did he do? What you said, Toya?
Go back. He went back.
He literally took Baal into Israel. Baal had no business in Israel. Baal was pagan. Baal was not real. Let me give y'all an example of that. Example of that would be when somebody that was saved would go out and get somebody, step out on God, hook up with somebody, and then come show up in service and go sit in service with them. Y'all hear what I said?
I did. I guess the part that kind of got me right there is when it says you built an altar for Baal in the house of Baal. I guess I was trying to follow back to when he took you back to Israel.
Who is that? What you doing here? Oh. All right. He reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal. What that's indicating is he designated a place for Baal within Israel. Again, the analogy. Leave God, fall away, backslide. Go out and get something that you sure can't say God gave to you. And then decide, well, come on, we're just going to go over here and sit in the house of God together. That's what he did. That I just gave you an example of what he did. Because that's what he did. Okay. Verse 33. And Ahab made a grove. And Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger than all the kings of Israel that were where? What does it say? That were where? Before him. This joker just wasn't planning on listening to nobody, was he? He was just going to cut his own path and do it his own way. Cut his own path. Do things his own way. It's a terrible thing to not pay attention and show enough to those that have treaded before. Verse 34. In his days did Hiel, the Bethelite, build Jericho. He laid the foundation thereof in Abram, his firstborn, and set up the gates thereof in his youngest son, Segub, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by Joshua, the son of Nun. Now, let's go to chapter 17. Chapter 16, I showed y'all where Ahab messed up, got off track, did things he didn't have no business doing. I'm going to bring